Hello and welcome to another Checkmate Puzzles video in which you can follow along with me and solve these different puzzles and checkmate problems. Now, just feel free to pause the video at any time if you need to think longer, but these should be easier. Hopefully you'll find these without too much difficulty. But even if you're a more experienced player, it is good to brush up with these basic checkmate puzzles and other basic tactics problems, just to stay fresh, to keep your brain working and finding these tactics. All right, we just had a rook move here, and some of these problems, it looks like they may repeat from the excuse me, the first checkmate puzzles video that I did, but that'll help better burn them into your memory. Okay. It looks like I think I know the problem here. If you do not, just pause the video until you have it. But if you think you know the answer, let's finish here. And you should try and solve the problem. If you do these on your own, any type of tactics, problems, or puzzles, try to figure it out in your head before you start making the moves. Like here, I could just think, oh, maybe this is the move here, and just make it and not calculate the rest out. But rook to c7, and the king will have to move to the back rank, and then the other rook will deliver mate. So it should go like this and mate. All right, so there you have it. Now, if feel free to leave comments if these problems are mostly too easy for the majority of you out there. I'll start with these, and then in the future I'll work up to maybe harder checkmate puzzles. All right, on to the next problem. Let's keep moving here if we have 20 to do. Okay, we have a pawn pushing forward here, and looks dangerous. A check is coming on our king, but our job is to checkmate white's king here. So, what should we do? Looks like a discovered attack with the bishop. What else is going on? And whenever you're going after the king, take a look at all the possible checks. Look at what pieces are hovering around the king. In your games as well. Keep an eye on the checks if you're attacking or defending. Okay, what can we do with this discovered check here? Well, if we back up here, then I think that would do it. All right, well, hope I didn't give it away before you were ready, but as always, pause the video if you need more time. If not, I think that the bishop to f1 delivers a check. Well, I think that's still, well, maybe not. Maybe that does not work. Okay, I'm going to have to take a closer look at this. Okay, I was thinking bishop to f1, discovered attack on the king. And, what then? If the king runs up this way, the king can, or the queen can deliver a mate. But what if the king goes down here to e3? So if we drop our bishop back, and then we go, the king runs up here. How do we continue then? I mean, we could go here and deliver another check. All right, this one's turning out to be a little trickier than I thought. I hope you're having better luck and you find it. So, what else do we have? Oh, okay. Uh, I think I made it too complicated. All right, have you found it? Here we go. Queen captures here with check. Like I said, look for those checks. So I should have done that first. All right, queen captures here, and I believe that's a mate in one. Ah, all right. Okay, hopefully we'll avoid that in the future by looking at all the checks first. On to the next problem. Okay, we have a b5 pawn push. What can we do in this position? All right, well, I think I found this one. Hopefully you found it as well. Pause the video if you need more time to think. And it looks like a mate in one also. So you definitely have to look at all the checks. You don't want to go here, or this knight could just capture. But if you check with the knight going in this direction, that works because the pawn is pinned by this queen here. All right, on to the next one. Okay, the king has just moved out of check from our queen here. But the king, in doing so and running to the corner here, there may be a possible discovered attack by our bishop. So that's one way to check, is to push this pawn and check by the bishop. But there may be a better way. So once again, pause the video if you need more time. If not, let's continue. So it looks like queen to c7 check. The king's forced into the corner. Then we pick off the rook, which delivers a mate. So something like that. All right. On to problem number 5. Okay. Bishop was under attack. And now after moving to d3, the bishop is forking our rook and this pawn. But we want to go for the mate. So how do we deliver a mate here? All right. I hope you found it. Here we go. A mate in one. All right. So next, moving on to problem number 6. Okay, what do we have here? The king was in check and moved to the edge of the board. White is ahead in material with the extra queen. So, how do we finish our opponent off here? All right, well, we have to watch out because queen to h8 would deliver a mate here to our king. So we need to act immediately, most likely with checking moves. And it looks like the only check possible is either with this pawn or with the rook. Now, if we capture this way, that's not looking so good. Because then the pawn captures, delivers a check. I mean, our rook could capture, but then we still have this queen check. So, if we play rook check here, we have this move. All right, this one's going to be a little trickier. So let's look at the rook check. Rook check to h1 here. The king would have to move up here. Then if we check with the other rook, the options are here or here. Maybe if they go there, I don't know. Do we just chase? We have to go, we're going for a mate. Ah, okay, there's another option. So make sure you look at all of your possible checks. The better option, rook to g4 check. The king is trapped on the edge of the board, must go up to h3, and then the other rook delivers mate. All right, see, sometimes you can make these checkmates more complicated than they are and overlook the simple checkmates. So that's why it's another reason why it's good to practice these. Okay, a knight has just developed and attacks my knight in the center. That's strange. Strange. Why didn't the queen just capture here? Unless I had a piece there, but I think there's nothing there. I don't know. It moved kind of quickly. But anyway, we're looking at this position. How do we deliver the mate? All right. Well, if you think you have it, we will continue. If not, pause the video. So here we go. I'm thinking knight to f6 check, forcing the king over to here, and then the queen jumps up to h6 and delivers a mate there. So knight to f6 and queen mates. All right. And just remember, every time, for beginners out there, whenever you are trying to hunt down the king and deliver a checkmate, once you attack the king with a check, you have to remember that the king has three options: capture the attacking piece, block, or run. And of course, if the king can't do that, it's mate. All right, continuing on here. Let's see. The knight has just moved here. The pieces are circling around my king, preparing to deliver a mate. But we need to act first. All right, what does black do in this position to win the game? All right, I have the answer. So black should play rook to h1, and it's a mate in 1 on the back rank because of this other rook. Okay, on to the next one. What is this? Problem 9. Here we go. Rook confronting white's rook here. Okay, what can we do? Well, all right, well, if we look at the checks, not many good ones by our queen that we would all be, we'd be captured. So perhaps this is more than a one move checkmate. How do we get at the black king? All right, well, And once again, maybe I'm overcomplicating things, but I don't know. I'm thinking if we go here, threatening a mate with the queen there, although this pawn could move. All right, a little bit of a tricky one here. So what do we want to do here? Interesting. Well, this is supposed to be a checkmate problem, and am I missing something here? If we move the rook here, I guess this pawn could try and move, but maybe there's also this move blocking, but then we would just capture and just win after that. So I'm thinking this is the move. Rook to A1. The rook would have to give itself up, with either check and then we take the rook, or black could move here, but then we just go ahead and capture. And also, if we move our rook here and this pawn is moved to make a escape hatch, well, then what do we do? We could check. King goes here, and we check again, and that would be it right there. All right. Yeah, and now that just makes it easier because now we can just go here and deliver a mate instantly. All right. Well, I hope you found that one. Let's keep moving along here. All right, pawn is pushing forward or down the board, getting ready to promote here. So we need to deliver our checkmate. Okay, have you found the answer? Pause the video if you would like to look longer. If not, it looks like a checkmate in one. With rook to h8, and that should be it. All right, on to the next one. What do we have next? The queen to f7. Pawn, bishop, queen. They're all really hovering around my king here. So how do we go after with the black pieces here? How do we go after white's king? All right. Pause the video if you'd like to figure it out. If you've already got it, let's move on. Look at the checks first. So the only check possible is from the queen. So capture this pawn. King will have to move. And then we can go here, capture this with check. The knight will block, but then we can capture with a mate. Yeah, see now if the knight blocks, we just capture and it's checkmate. All right, on to the next one. What was that? A capture here. The knight jumps forward, attacking our knight. So, what can we do here to deliver a mate? Well, we don't have many pieces to work with here, but it looks like it's just the perfect amount of pieces. Okay, do you have it? Let's move the knight up here to g4 with check. So once we do that, the king can't come forward because of this rook, and the king will have to go either to g1 or h1, and then we can deliver a mate up here with the rook. All right, there we go. And you notice here how the knight is preventing an escape by the king as well. All right, on to the next one. Let's see here. Oh, come on. Did it just put the exact same problem up? All right, well, this will be an easy one for you if you're paying attention to the last one. Okay. The knight move followed by the rook move. Okay, I hope you got that one. On to the next one. Here we go. A knight capture down here. The pieces are kind of hovering around my king, but what can we do to go after white's king? All right, hopefully you found the answer. Let's play it out here. It looks like a mate in one with black's queen here. So queen to d1. and the queen delivers mate and cuts off this escape square here as well. All right. So, what was that? A capture by the bishop. And what does white have? How can white... all right. Hopefully you found this one. So just remember to look at all your checks. And it looks like we only have one possible way to check. So hopefully you found it. All right. Let's deliver mate with the queen to h7. There we go. And the next problem. Okay, what can white do here? This rook is pinned now by this rook, so that can't get involved. Our queen is hovering around the king. Our rook is cutting off this escape square. So, what would you do in this position to check the black king and deliver a mate? Now, there are different ways to check the king. If the rook delivers a check, the king could capture. If the queen delivers a check, the pawn could capture. So, those are ruled out. Queen doesn't want to go up here, or it'll be picked off. If the queen goes down here, then the king can escape. So the queen has to stay there. And a lot of times, checkmates that involve, well, pause the video if you want to think about it more, but if not, I'll give you the answer. A lot of times, checkmates that involve pawns are often overlooked, so it looks like a pawn move here. Now, if you go here, the queen could capture, so why not avoid that and just mate immediately with pawn to b5? And the other pawns cut off the king's escape. So there we go. All right, we have what? 4 more problems. So let's finish this out strong. Okay, we just had a capture here by this pawn, but it looks like it has opened up. Well, it's tripled these pawns, so that's usually not good. But the king has left himself open to an attack. How do we get at that king and checkmate? All right, hopefully you found it. Pretty much the only piece that can immediately deliver a check and mate is the queen. And the bishop cuts off the escape. All right, on to the next one. Here we go. An attack on our queen, so we have to act immediately. What would you do here? All right, hopefully you found a checkmate in 1 with the queen. Here we go. All right, on to the next problem. So the rook has moved here, attacking our rook. But what can we do to deliver a mate in 1? All right, hopefully you found it. If not, pause if you need to look further, but should be pretty obvious. The rook is checkmating. No way to block this. Can't capture the attacking piece because it's protected by the other rook, and there's nowhere to run. All right, the final problem here. Let's see what it is. Okay, a queen has just moved here, attacking our knight. What shall we do? Okay. Take a look at this. See if you can figure it out. White is also threatening a mate in 1 here with bishop and queen. So black must act immediately to prevent being checkmated himself. Okay, look for the checks. That is always a good strategy. So this one's a little trickier, but hopefully you find it. Pause the video if you need more time. And maybe I would need more time. But this is what I'm thinking. So we have a knight check either here. the rook could capture then, or the king could just move. We have this rook check. So maybe this is better because here the knight is checking the king and attacking the queen at the same time. And if the pawn captures, then our queen can move up here to h1 and deliver a mate. So I'm thinking that's the better move because to avoid the mate, the king would just white would just lose the queen. All right, here we go. And a mate. All right, there you have it. 20 checkmate puzzles. And I would recommend regularly solving puzzles. Even if you can do a little bit every day, it'll definitely help you improve your chess. All right. Well, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to leave any comments that you would like. And thank you for watching. Have a super chess day.